What's going on, guys? This is Brian from Advancement Hockey Advising here, and today we're going to be talking about how to handle getting scratched the right way. So if you're a regular subscriber to our videos here, you might notice that this video is very similar to the one we published a few weeks ago, which is handling getting cut the right way, which you can find in the link up here. But ultimately, you're probably asking yourself too, why are you making a video that's so similar to the one you made just 2 weeks ago? Well, the thing is that even though there is a lot of overlap between the two situations, there are some significant differences here that we want to address, just so you have the tools so you can be best equipped to tackle both situations, right? Because there is some differences here. The whole goal of this video here is to kind of highlight these differences and give you some do's and don'ts here that you can do so you can best approach the situation if it does happen to you. Because we all know that, aside from getting cut, getting scratched is a close second to one of the worst feelings you can experience as a hockey player. If you know how to handle it at least the right way, you can at least get some positives out of the situation and ensure that you can minimize your chances that it happens to you again. Without further ado, we're going to dive into it here. But actually, before we do here, just a quick reminder, as always, to absolutely destroy that like button. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video moving forward. All right, so the first thing that you want to keep in mind here is not to confront the coaching staff as soon as you hear the news, okay? The reason being, one, you're going to be in a huge emotional state, so that's not a good thing, right? But the second thing here is that, they have a game to play, right? The coaching staff, like players, have to be in the zone for the game, and they have things that they have to take care of. So confronting them right away is probably not the best situation here. You want to let them play their game. You want to instead just be a good teammate, cheer your team on, right? And kind of take the time, throughout the game here, not to just to kind of calm yourself down, go over the situation, why you might have been scratched, try not to think too much about it and let it spiral out of control and all that. But, kind of take a seat back, truly, genuinely cheer on your team. Try and think, okay, I got scratched, why is the reason? And start thinking about the points that you want to talk to the coach about. But just a caveat here, if you're very emotional about it, let's say you're not handling it the right way and you're aware of it, just kind of take the game to kind of relax, enjoy the game, and not think too much about it, okay? We don't want you spiraling out of control here. But overall, you don't want to go talk to the coaching staff right away. You're going to be too emotional at this point, and they're not going to be in the right headspace either to talk to you. So you generally want to wait till the next day to talk to them, right? Calm yourself down and to have have them be in a better situation too, and to have some points to talk about when you go talk to them the next day. Number 2 here, don't get angry with the coach, right? Don't go confront them out of anger and question them why they didn't put you in the lineup that night. That is the worst way you can approach it. If you do this, guaranteed you will not get a positive response back, and they're probably gonna start getting angry at you. And they could start thinking, okay, well, this guy's not the right type of player to have on my team. And they might start questioning your character and your role on the team at this point. So going and confronting them by far is not the way to go, okay? Instead, much like the video we talked about a few weeks ago, you want to go in when you do talk to the coach, stay calm, just ask them respectfully, like, hey, I obviously, I wasn't in the lineup last night, and I just want to know, what I can do to, better myself, to, where I lost the trust that you didn't put me in the lineup, or what the reasoning was and all that kind of stuff. If you go in there with high, respect, if you're genuine, if you're kind, almost 99% of the time, the coach will give you a legit and kind, constructive response back. And this is important. And once they're giving that feedback to you, actually listen to them, okay? Actually see where you can improve, what they're thinking, where their mind's at, and then from there you're gonna know the changes that you need to make to get back in the lineup, okay? Sometimes they'll just say, listen, hey, we just want to test out somebody else, and you're gonna be back in the lineup next game, that's great. But sometimes they'll say, hey, listen, you're not cutting it enough right now, you're not doing this, and that, and you need to improve these skills here, you need to improve these aspects of your game before I can put you back in, okay? So it's very important here that, you go in a calm way, don't get angry with them, listen to their feedback, and then make the changes from there. All right, number 3 here, do not, and I repeat, do not have your parents call the coach and explain himself. Extremely important. Once you get to the age where scratches are a thing, by no means should parents be calling coaches anymore, right? The only time scratches become a thing are usually starting in juniors, right? Sometimes in prep school, but mostly in junior. And at that point, calling the coach on the parents' behalf is not good. You cannot have that happen, okay? You have to be the one talking to the coach. If your parent calls the coach, that immediately tells him that your character is not up to par here. So it's really important that you talk to them yourself. Do not have parents calling the coach, okay? This is extremely, extremely important. Do not have this happen. All right, so number 4 here. Do not start trash talking your coach, your organization, or anything like that to your teammates or other people. This is very, very tempting. Again, like being cut, your emotions are gonna be high, after getting scratched. It's not a fun feeling, but as much as it's tempting to talk negatively about the coach, to say this isn't fair, all that kind of stuff, all that's gonna do is not gonna serve anyone. It's not gonna serve you. It's not gonna serve the teammates that are about to play the game, right? It's just gonna bring everyone down. And actually your teammates are probably gonna lose respect for you if you start doing this. Instead, what you can do is, if some of your teammates probably will come talk to you about it, say, hey, is everything okay? And all that kind of stuff. Say, hey, listen, I'll be honest, it kind of stings right now. I'm not in the best place, but I understand, there's probably some stuff I have to work on. And I'm gonna do that, but for tonight, I'm really there. I really hope that you guys win and friggin' bring this game home, okay? If you approach it in that way, your teammates' respect for you is just gonna go that much higher, and they're gonna wanna see you get back in the lineup. Versus if you start blaming everyone, if you start being negative and all that, at that point, they're not really gonna care for you if you're in the lineup or not, okay? So it's really important. Don't trash talk anyone. Instead, kind of take the positive approach to it and genuinely try and cheer your team on for them to win. Number 5 here, do not pretend like everything is fine, right? We talked about this in the other video here too, but getting scratched, just like getting cut, is extremely difficult, right? And you're gonna have some negative feelings that you're gonna have to deal with. Usually it's not gonna last as long as getting cut. Getting cut's typically a little bit more painful, but getting scratched is no easy task to handle either, right? And you're gonna have to face those negative feelings, make sure you work through it, but work through it quickly enough so it doesn't linger on to when, you hop back on the ice in a couple days or the next day to practice or anything like that. So you wanna work with it, work through it quite fast. You got to face it. Think about it yourself, what you can improve on, what you're feeling and all that kind of stuff. And also, if you could talk to a couple teammates that you trust, or talk to your parents, your advisor, anything like that to talk through it, right? That's really going to help you out to, kind of face it, express out loud what you're feeling and overcome it and get better for the next day, okay? But do not pretend like everything is fine. That's just gonna make things worse. Really make sure that you face those negative feelings. Number 6 here, do not drown in self-pity. Do not play that victim card. No matter, how difficult the situation is. I know it's tempting to do this, but do not play the victim card saying things aren't fair, things always like this always happened to me. That won't serve you. That won't serve your teammates. If you bring that kind of energy towards your team, right, it's not gonna help them by any ways to win that game that night, So you do not wanna do this. I know it's tempting. It's very tempting to pull the victim card in this situation, but do not do it, okay? Try and see the silver lining in the situation. Try and see where you can improve and all that kind of stuff, okay? And try and bounce back for the next day. It's very difficult, but if you do approach it the right way, like the steps we talked about before, it is doable, but do not pull that victim card. Trust me when I say this. Do not pull that card. See the silver lining instead. And last but not least here, point number 7, which is somewhat related to the last point that we talked about here, but it's not to blame others, okay? You have to take full ownership. We talked about this in the previous video. We talked about this a bit in the past point, but here we're really trying to drive the point home here. Take full ownership. You got scratched for a reason, right? And you have to figure out what that reason is, and you have to quickly bounce back if you want to get back in the lineup, okay? So you need to the only way to do this is to take full ownership, not blaming others, not playing the self-pity game. Really take full ownership and bounce back, and then you'll be good to go in the future. All right, so let's just recap the main points here that we talked about. So first of all, getting scratched isn't easy, but there are things you can do here to make the experience slightly more positive. Number 1, wait until the next day to talk to the coaching staff. Number 2, stay calm when you're talking to the coach and when he's giving you feedback. Number 3, you talk to the coach, not your parents. Number 4, speak about the coach and the organization in the positive light. Do not trash talk them. Number 5, acknowledge the feelings and the situation that you're in and don't pretend like everything is fine. Number 6, see the silver lining in the situation and don't be a victim. And number 7, take full ownership of the situation and don't blame others. All right, guys, that is it for the video. If you have any questions or anything like that, anything that you want to talk to us about, feel free to drop a comment down below or email us at info@ahadvising.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And again, if you're new here and if you got any kind of value out of this video at all, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video here moving forward. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll catch you on that next one.